everybody, and welcome to the Two Real Gamers podcast. I'm Steve.
I'm Ricky.
I'm out of it.
Yeah, I know. You're dying, Steve. You're gonna make it, man. You're gonna make it.
I'll make it through the show, but I'll die when I get home.
All right. Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
All right. I wanted to do a follow-up last week because last week we talked about the new Guitar Hero Live. It actually looks really interesting. I watched a video on it. You know, I won't watch Splatoon videos, but I'll watch one simple video about Guitar Hero, right? But the first off, the answer is right. You probably all noticed already. But the old Guitar Hero and Rockband instruments will be compatible with Rockband 4. As far as Guitar Hero Live, I don't know about that yet, but I know Rock Band, all your old stuff will work on that. Yeah. That's fine. As far as Guitar Hero Live itself, which I thought was really interesting because it's not an all-digital crowd anymore with the new game. It's actually...
It's like a live crowd.
Yeah. And
it's weird.
And yeah, like it's weird, but then not only that... Your bandmates are live too, so if you start messing up and sucking, like
they look at you like, bro.
Yeah, your bandmates will start looking at your face and start being like, "Yo, what the hell, man? What are you doing?" Like that's just so weird. What is this? This is something interesting. I wonder how that works too, because it's not like they're doing all digital, which would kind of be, I guess, easier to animate. But how will the live action kind of translate to the game itself, especially with the crowd? Because I know they have the crowd kind of dying down. They're like, "Oh, boo," you know.
Yeah, they're like, "You suck, guy."
Yeah, you suck. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is something kind of cool. I don't know if
I like that. It's a really cool concept. I also like the fact that it's an ever updating playlist.
Yes,
and they have music. They have like thousands of songs. So it's like, because I know one of the problems was that, like, I didn't like most of the songs of Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
So I would only play like 5 because I had only liked 5. But now it's like there are going to be so many songs that there's no way you can't find a song you don't like. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Apparently the playlist is actually open to, I think, like several different genres where it's not even just like one rock genre. It's like almost everything at this point. And they have a new guitar which actually looks so much like a real guitar. There's like no red buttons anymore. It's all just a regular looking guitar with some buttons in it that kind of make it look like it's like part of the guitar. It's actually kind of cool. But I mean, I guess everything from that you know and love from before is old. It's done. That's it. I just don't know about, like we said, the new Rock Band. The old stuff can work on. As far as Guitar Hero 4, again, our Guitar Hero Live, I don't know if the old stuff will work unless they're just really gonna push that new one.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't like the new style though. Like I don't like how it's guitar picks.
Yeah.
I like the buttons better. I don't care if it's old or if it's stupid. Like, you know.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I don't like the guitar picks. I like the
makes it feel like a guitar, man.
It doesn't.
You like the buttons, dude.
I like the buttons. It's easier.
There's so many people beastly with the buttons though, man. Oh my god. Oh, man. So, going on from that follow-up real quick to another follow-up, Jason Voorhees DLC, which I know you love.
Ugh.
Well, apparently he's coming out May 5th. And he's so there you go. Mark your calendars. I know you guys are waiting for him.
Yeah, all you guys who bought the combat pack and were like, there's nothing in this. It's coming. You guys, it's a season pass, guys. You have it.
Yes, you have it.
It's coming.
Square Enix, interesting enough, we don't talk about them a lot. We talked about it with Final Fantasy, but there's a ton of games that are coming out from them. So much so that they had to announce that they're going to actually have their own E3 conference before E3 even starts. So that Tuesday, before E3 even starts off, it's like, oh, okay, Square, we got this. We're actually going to broadcast our own thing. They must have so many different must have so much different content that they have their own conference.
I mean, we're going to finally hear something about Final Fantasy, like. Come on.
Well, there's a lot where the demo's out, but now it's like, I guess, more details on that, and then the other games that they're working on too.
Yeah.
So I mean, hopefully.
But is there a release date for Final Fantasy yet? I don't think so.
Still no.
Yeah, so maybe we might get one.
Yeah, finally. I mean, E3 is where the big stuff comes down. That's where they have to. I mean, and that's the thing too. People have always talked about the relevance of E3. Is it even the same anymore? I mean, you could just basically do what Nintendo does and just announce things like bi-monthly. Anyway, I know I know that. We could announce things bi-monthly, so. I mean, why even waste the time with E3 when you can just do what Nintendo does?
But I think the E3 still just has like that cool factor of just it's E3, you know.
If they open it to the public, maybe, but it's only open to the press. That's the thing. If like any old person could just go in there, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't just in LA, because that was another thing too, moving E3 to possibly happening in New York or other places. I mean, dude, I'd be in the it's probably gonna be in the Jacob Javits Center, and I'd be there in a second. Yeah. But of course, like I said, it's only open to members of the media. We're not quite. I mean, hey, we do a podcast on YouTube, but I don't think that qualifies us so much as media. Yeah, or part of it. I mean, I think people just get passes anyway.
I think I pass for wearing whatever.
Yeah, who knows? But hey, shout outs.
Yay.
But yeah, so E3, whether it's going to be relevant or not, but who cares? Because I mean, Nintendo's got some buzz going on for E3. Microsoft has some buzz going on for E3, and we'll talk about that when we get into their section. And also, I mean, Nintendo's got buzz. Sony doesn't have much of a buzz from what I'm understanding, but who knows? It might just surprise us.
They're winning anyway.
Yeah, no, they don't care. We got like 20 million consoles, so who gives a shit? Like, whatever. But now, talking about the future of Nintendo, actually, and Nintendo consoles, because I think we're already up to our Nintendo section.
Yeah.
Someone found out through LinkedIn that there's someone named Liu Yang. We don't know who this guy is. No, I don't know. A lot of people know this guy. I don't think anybody does. But he is the principal test engineer at Nintendo, according to LinkedIn, in the Seattle area. Now, you would say, okay, who cares? Why is that important? Well, he's a test engineer. Previous job was a senior software development engineer in Microsoft. And not just Microsoft, Windows Phone 8.1, Windows Phone 8 Shell. He was a software development engineer in Test 2. So that's interesting there that they hired someone from Microsoft who's experienced with, the phone software to now work for Nintendo. That's quite the
mobile or what?
Yeah, mobile or what, huh? Remember that the Amiibo Touch and Play, the thing where you touch Amiibo to the thing? Well, it's coming out for Europe April 30th. No release date still in America because, I mean, come on now. Let's get that Amiibo going, man. Come on now.
I don't care.
Well, not until you get that Wii U, Dan.
No, I mean, there's no American date yet, so it doesn't affect me.
Well, Europe, you know now.
Yeah, Europe knows.
We're going backwards to Splatoon a little bit because we talked about it in our esports kind of talk a little bit back and forth on a discussion, but some stuff about Splatoon which made it a little interesting was the fact that the person who was making it, Nogami, the producer, he said that it's actually what inspired him to make Splatoon was Perfect Dark, an old rare classic.
Huh.
That game, that was one of my favorite games too. I mean, I love GoldenEye.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember any paint section in Perfect Dark.
But I guess it's more of the multiplayer and just kind of like the atmosphere, and it's weird. Well, here's what he said about it. Development tier, blah, blah, blah. Let me see. Development team is made up of people who play a lot of games. This is a quote from him. And a lot of them are people who play shooting games a lot, including Mr. Amano, who one of the game's directors, who I've heard has spent a lot of his years playing Perfect Dark. As game designers who play games, you can't really help observing things you like and don't like, and having those have some degree of influence in your thinking. The best way to express this is that it forms a base of thought and that you bring into game development, but it doesn't directly influence the game development.
Yeah.
So there's some sort of element, I guess, like the first-person shooter, something about Perfect Dark, because you can kind of see it, but no paint. But I guess more of the multiplayer aspect, because multiplayer on Perfect Dark or even GoldenEye was just a blast, man.
Yeah.
I used to love that stuff. You can't really recreate that even with like the newer games. I mean, like Call of Duty and stuff. People can play that stuff endlessly, and Halo, but there was something different about that GoldenEye. I don't know if it's just the 4-person screens or whatnot. I have no idea.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me even like of the that game for PC. I don't know if it came out or not. The Colors, I believe, where you're basically invisible characters and Screen Cheat or something like that, where you're visible to the other player, but remember, you have to look at the other person's screen to find out where they are. And it's we talked about this, Steve. Gosh,
I don't know.
Well,
I forget things a lot.
Yeah, that's all right. But that game seemed interesting. I have no idea if it's out on PC. But going back to Splatoon, that gets a freaking bundle. Smash Bros. Doesn't, but
I'm pissed about that.
But it's a bundle, but it's exclusively at Best Buy, so you don't have to worry about a wide release. Only at Best Buy you could get the Splatoon bundle. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, whatever.
One last thing from Nintendo, Mario Kart 8, the patch, the update, the DLC has happened.
Been playing it?
Yes, and it is. I love I love it. I just absolutely love it. Absolutely worth the money. Maybe even more. I felt like I should have paid more for the DLC, and that's not even like a bullshit little like advertisement or nothing like that. That's really the truth. Like I felt like I underpaid for what I was offered.
That's really funny you say that, because a coworker and I were actually talking about this. We were like, he felt like the Mario Kart DLC was so good for the price that was paid for it. And he's like, I definitely would have paid more for this, but I'm so happy I only paid like $12 and got so much when I would have paid like 25 or 30 for this and still been happy with it.
Yeah. Like it's so weird. Like, is Nintendo like the masters of DLC? Like they've planned this out.
They know how to make people happy.
They've planned this out. They had a master plan to have everybody mess up on a DLC plan that they were just like,
Let's just say at this point, like, you used to buy video games just to try it out. If you didn't like it, then whatever. I only paid a couple bucks for it.
Yeah.
I paid like $40-$50 for it. Yeah. But now it's like with DLC, video games are an investment.
Yes.
You're dropping $80, $90, even $100 on a game. If you don't like it, it's like, well, shit, I just wasted so much money that you don't even want to try. Like, if you look at a game, you're like, oh, I might want to try that game. Like, no, all the DLC is going to cost me a lot of money for a game I might want to try. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah.
DLC is so stupid. I hate DLC.
Oh, man. No, but the Mario Kart 8, I mean, there was surprise because I knew what I was going to get. I was going to get the 8 tracks, the 3 carts, the 3 characters. Fine. I knew what I was getting with that. The tracks were fun as hell. They're actually harder than the first DLC, which I appreciate. Because I was like, the first DLC, I was like, oh, okay, this is not too bad, but the stages are really nice. Yeah. Now it's like the stages are really nice. And they're hard, and it's like, okay, that's great. Like, they were kind of difficult for me. Like, even the stage I loved, I was like raving about last week, Neo Bowser City. Yes, that stage is super hard for like with the carts that I picked because the rain is making me slip too much and falling off in turns. I'm like, what? Really? I mean, I knew there was traction control too in this game.
Yeah.
But there was just a lot of slipping that I was doing in that stage, but it was still fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, all the stages are great. I love the Animal Crossing stage. I do love that new wood stage. I forget what the hell the name of it, but that stage is so beautiful. Like that stage is really well done. Like I love that stage. And of course, Big Blue. I absolutely love Big Blue.
Nice.
I went online and just every time everybody chose it was just everybody chose straight up Big Blue because it's just that good of a stage and the music is just hype.
Is it like F-Zero music?
It's the F-Zero music updated with the electric guitar and everything. And not only that, if you're a spoiler, if you want to spoil it, do you want me to spoil it for you?
Go ahead.
Lap 3 goes final lap. Here we go. Like, the F-Zero final lap, like that is in the lap. When you get to the third part, cool. That was like, yo, that took me by surprise. So happy with it. It's such good detail. Love that stage. Oh man, but then not only that, the characters are cool. Whenever I had Villager, they were kind of cute in some way. Isabelle and then Dry Bowser, he's really hot actually because his shell glows with lava.
Oh,
like
nice.
That's a hot detail. But besides that, the 200cc is amazing. That's a whole new Mario Kart game. There's a whole new game now with 200cc.
Yeah, you were talking about that earlier.
It's holy crap. I mean, I think there's a competitive Mario Kart now. Yeah. If anything, the 200cc really steps your game up because now it doesn't have to do with like luck that much anymore. Because it has to do with a lot of skill. If you can be able to take your turns and be able to time everything right, you got it. Nice. Like it was funny because my first online, because I decided to just go 200cc online because you could play the characters of your CPUs and you could just blow them out the water.
Yeah.
But you don't really know how good you are until you play actual people. So I went online. My first race, I just so happened to get first place, but that's because the person in first place got hit with a blue shell close at the end. And of course it was Big Blue. Big Blue, first stage, 200cc. I'm hitting walls like crazy, but it was still like I had to get used to it, but it was so much fun, dude. And my first race I got it. It's on YouTube. I put it out there. I'm going to share that link.
Nice.
I had to upload that because that race was fun. And I was trying out a different combination because I'm trying to figure out what's the best combo for 200cc. So far, I think I got it, but I don't know. I think it's more of acceleration that you would have to worry about more so than the speed. But I mean, I've won with people who had different kind of card combinations than I had, but still, I mean, it's so good. I love this new Mario Kart 8 DLC. I can't wait for you to try out that game, dude. If you get a Wii U, if you don't want to play Mario Kart or pay for it, I would lend you my copy. But of course, there's gonna be no DLC. But
I mean, we'll see what happens when the time comes.
Yes. So going on from that to Microsoft. Microsoft. Remember how that price drop happened?
Yeah.
$50 off, $350 and all that stuff. Well, apparently, going up to March 31st, Microsoft reported a 24% drop in revenue in the Xbox division compared to last year. It's the decline of the sales of an increased mix of the lower price Xbox One consoles. That's according to Microsoft. That was when not only when they cut it from 300 to 400 to 350. This is also when they cut it from 500 to 400. So I mean, the deep price cut really hurt them.
I mean, maybe their console sales are hurting them.
Yeah, in general, yeah, that's it. But then again, too, it's always Xbox's division has always been a problem for Microsoft. Like, it's never really been in the positive. Like, the last console generation, it took a while, but it got to the positive at some point. The original Xbox lost Microsoft so much money. But the second one, the 360, actually did somewhat well. And the third one just seems to not be doing that great at all. So I don't know if Microsoft's still going to continue, or they're just going to have to give it up, or just go into Windows 10, or just continue and focus on what they've already done,
computers.
Which is PC gaming. Which, by the way, speaking of Windows 10, AMD, I guess what do you call them? The video card company?
Yeah, I guess so.
To put it in the simplest of terms, but no, they make the hardware and such for PCs. I guess exclusive to video cards, but. The CEO was talking, and they accidentally may have leaked the release date of Windows 10, which they said in the speech. But the time Windows launches in the end of July, and it's like, oh,
whoops.
Oh well, hey now, okay, well,
that'd be cool.
Oh, hopefully AMD's right, because if not, then that sucks.
Yeah, right.
Also from Microsoft, from the UK, the head of the Xbox division in the UK has stepped down, Phil Harrison. He has stepped down to go to other ventures outside of Microsoft, according to Microsoft. So,
cool.
He held it down there, and he's gone. For what reason, I don't know. Sony, the only thing we got is the fact that Ultra Street Fighter 4 for the PS4, which is the only which is going to be the first new gen Street Fighter before Street Fighter 5. That actually has a release date already of May 26th. So you get that before you get Street Fighter 5, which I forget when Street Fighter 5 is coming out. Now, as far as the price, I don't know, fair or not, $25.
Fair?
Okay.
Beyond fair.
Okay.
They're undercutting themselves.
Okay.
I mean, well, actually, it's Ultimate Street Fighter 4, or Ultra Street Fighter 4. Maybe it's fair.
Okay.
I don't think it's overfair. I think it's fair. I think it's cool.
I mean, I don't know.
Because there's already Street Fighter 4 and like all that stuff. So
yeah, there's
Super Street Fighter 4 and stuff. So it's basically another Street Fighter.
3 versions or 4 versions of that game already.
Fair. I'll go fair, 25.
It's fair for new players or fair for people who bought all versions of it so far?
Fair for I think it's beyond fair for anyone who hasn't played any of the Street Fighters yet. I think it's like a little less than fair for people who have bought all the versions already.
No, I understand that. Now, finally, coming from us, because we already talked about mods for PC, we talked about Steam for PC. We also relate the PC to PC gaming to esports as well, and this is going to be our final topic of the show, which we talk about the League of Legends player. He is retiring.
Yes, his name is Hai. He played for Cloud9 for about 3 years. He's part of the original team. They were Orbit Gaming when it was, I think, the only 2 members of what people know as Cloud9 now who were on Orbit were Lemon Nation and Hai, which actually Hai was a jungler for that team.
Wow.
When they brought in Meteos, they brought in Sneaky, and they brought in Balls. Hai went to the mid lane so Meteos could play jungle. And for a while, Cloud9 was deemed as the best team in North America, for the longest time.
Even still kind of now in some way, right? Or...
Right. Well, I think now TSM took over as the best team because they've just been, every time they've been beating Cloud9 lately.
Yeah.
But Hai had been dealing with injuries. He had a little bit of a heart problem going on. He missed some time with that. And then when he came back, he started having wrist problems. So I guess, Hai was one of the longest running members of Cloud9, and he decided to step down for health reasons and whatnot. So I think he's still going to be a manager on the team or whatever, because, when a guy's been with your organization for that long, it would be messed up just to, kick him off.
Yeah.
You're retiring, well, see you later. So I think he's going to be a manager for the team, but they're open for mid replacement.
That's not, that's crazy. Look at the esports injury that'll prevent somebody from continuing. The wrist. But
it was showing in his play.
Yeah,
it was one of those things, too, where, he went from being, one of the middle of the top tier mid laners where he would lose some matchups and win some matchups to just almost losing every matchup. And he had to be Meteos would have to come help him out way more than he would have to, which would then leave other lanes vulnerable and whatnot. So
yeah, like I'm not like discounting a wrist injury. I already know, like playing games and whatnot, you injure something in your hand, it's going to affect your gameplay. Yeah. And I wouldn't discount that at all. But he had multiple. That's the thing that added to this too. He had a few wrist injuries where he's like, no, I can't continue like this. I'm gonna just gonna get to a point where it's not even worth my time.
I mean, I'm a Cloud9 fan.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a Cloud9 fan. That's why I know so much about their history, the orbit and everything. I've been a Cloud9 fan since before they were Cloud9.
Yeah.
I will say straight up, from a fan view, Hive was one of the reasons why the team was on the decline. And I will attribute it to the injuries and whatnot, and just also other teams were getting better in the mid lane.
Yeah.
So, as a fan, this was a very necessary move to happen, but it's unfortunate it happened because I liked the team chemistry they had going on, and Hive was their shot caller. So maybe Medios move into the shot caller since he was like the secondary shot caller. And it would make sense for them to pick up a mid laner who would just like be really mechanically good and just take orders and do what they do. That's personally what I think should happen. But I'm just a fan.
Yeah. But I feel like it's a fair view. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, they're gonna keep him on as a coach. He seemed to be very influential. Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. I mean, we're probably gonna see pretty soon. I mean, maybe not as soon as we expected, but at least maybe, I don't know, what do you think, this season, next season,
the summer split's gonna be coming up.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, they're gonna take like a month or two off, and the summer split's gonna start, and Cloud9 is gonna have a new mid laner then.
Okay.
But as of right now, because the spring season just ended last week.
Okay.
So there's gonna be some time for them to find a new mid laner. We'll find out soon.
Yeah, but that's it for our show. That's it.
Yeah.
Word. So you can follow us all. We got the Twitters around here somewhere. No Amiibos though.
I left them home.
Yeah. I have to bring mine. I just don't. I break my back because I take public transportation. I got to bring everything in my back to bring this heavy ass old laptop from like 1995. I don't know. This is from like 2000 something, but still.
Yeah.
It's like got Windows XP. This thing's still hackable at this point.
Word.
But I'm at TEH _Rick, Terrick.
And I'm at Steve B. Agilism. That's AGILISM.
And then the Two Broke Gamers podcast on Twitter, of course. Follow us.
Two Broke Gamers Pod.
Yes, I know. Well, I was going to say that. I didn't say at, though. I didn't say the at. Two Broke Gamers Pod. Number 2, Two Broke Gamers Pod. And Two Broke Gamers Podcast.wordpress.com for a blog that'll eventually be updated again. We'll see you guys at some points because, like I said, our schedule might be messed up from here on. So,
and hopefully next week I'm not dying so I can actually focus on the show.
Yeah, so we'll see you then.
Shit.